the phenomenal AJ Styles.
When you talk about AJ Styles, the list of accomplishments is seemingly endless. Styles a true global superstar before arriving in WWE, but since he's been here, AJ Styles has lived up to the moniker phenomenal.
The following contest is a steel cage match. Making his way to the ring from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that when AJ Styles made his debut at the Royal Rumble a couple years ago, he wondered if he would even fit into WWE. But obviously he has done more than just fit in. He has excelled at this level.
One of the toughest individuals I have ever seen compete in a WWE ring. The Hall of Famer is here!
And his opponent, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 249 pounds, the Rated R Superstar, Edge.
Byron, here's a superstar who really is living his dream.
Absolutely. I mean, you go back to Edge's childhood where he won an essay contest to win the right to train inside the ring for the first time. And since then, of course, creating a Hall of Fame career here in WWE.
The ultimate opportunist. You can feel the electricity running through this arena. This is going to be some battle. One-on-one, mano-a-mano.
Look at them, locked inside that cage like a couple of rabid animals. According to historians, the twisted metal that we see as part of steel cages today dates back 80 years. To settle a dispute between competitors Jack Bloomfield and Count Pietro Rossi, the two met inside a ring surrounded by chicken wire. At first, these types of matches were referred to as fence matches.
Oh, boom! Spikes him down. Corey, you gave us an impressive history of the origins of the steel cage match. I'd like to point out to our viewers that from the 1960s through the mid-1980s, chain link fences were used to enclose the ring for WWE steel cage matches. A superstar could win by pinfall, submission, or by exiting the cage through the cage door or climbing over the top of the cage.
We should also point out, Michael, that the way to win a steel cage match can vary by match depending on what was agreed to before contracts to compete in the match were signed. Talking about history, at WrestleMania 2, WWE unveiled the redesigned steel cage with solid steel blue bars before returning to chain link mesh in the late 1990s.
There's a certain feeling that comes over the combatants in a steel cage match once they hear the door close and see the official lock it. A superstar must know that their body is going to be thrown against the steel, that their face will most likely be raked across the cage, and that anything is legal in this environment.
We spoke about this earlier, Corey. It's crucial for a WWE superstar to fully understand the gravity of the situation they're in when they battle inside a 15-foot-high steel cage. An individual must be ready to endure pure brutality and be prepared for the fight of their life. No one leaves a steel cage match without scars.
Corey, you said something of value for once, and that anything is...
Hooked up. Ushigoroshi.
But he's got to capitalize now.
But now, can AJ Styles capitalize?
AJ Styles has the uncanny ability to make big matches even bigger. Case in point, his show-stealing match against Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 33.
AJ Styles able to avoid damage there.
Such a technician.
Oh, the reversal by AJ Styles. You know, Michael, AJ Styles entered WrestleMania with a chip on his shoulder. Styles had a lot of frustration about Shane's handling of the #1 contendership and took it out with some brutal offense.
I mean, you can tell both competitors earned a lot of respect for each other after that match, as Shane recruited Styles to help in his matches against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
He's left wide open here.
I don't think he even realizes it. He looks dazed.
This is about to get bad.
To have the slightest chance of success against the Rated R superstar, you have to keep your cool. Edge has so much experience and is such a talented competitor, he can use the smallest lapse in judgment against you.
Oh, my God. To your point, Corey, a superstar must keep their composure when going up against the Rated R superstar Edge. This is a decorated champion. It becomes more dangerous in a match as the stakes become higher.
Edge is the master manipulator for a good reason. An opponent must be ready for Edge's mind games and the fact that he has the poise to wait until you make a mistake. Then the Rated R superstar seizes the opportunity to capitalize.
Don't break your crown.
What's he going to do with it? He's in full control now.
As a kid, Edge grew up in Toronto, Canada, and was a huge WWE fan. Not only was he in the crowd at WrestleMania 6, but he won an essay contest in high school. The prize was training at a wrestling school by none other than Canadian legend Sweet Daddy Siki.
Big trouble for AJ Styles.
Styles has to find some way to shake this off quick.
Well, growing up in Canada, Edge idolized people like WWE Hall of Famers Mr. Perfect, Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Randy Macho Man Savage. I'm sure some of those names came up in his winning essay.
Like many of us who enter sports entertainment, Edge did everything he could to watch WWE. Edge wanted to learn as much as possible about his favorite WWE superstars and one day follow in their footsteps. Pops him up. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh my God, he's in prison Styles clad.
That's how you put an exclamation point on the end of a match, guys. Edge is in a real bad spot.
He's looking a little wobbly here, guys.
Michael, his legs look like they're about to give out on him.
How did they get away with that? That's not legal.
The best way to describe combatants clashing inside a steel cage is its battle of attrition. Sometimes a superstar is left with no choice but to fight fire with fire and do whatever they need to do in order to win the match. And sometimes it comes down to a superstar doing whatever they need to do in order to survive.
What a reversal by AJ Styles.
Styles is always thinking.
Byron, you touched on this earlier, but it's so important for a superstar to accept that there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide in a steel cage match. That the conflict will be resolved within the 15-foot-high steel walls that surround the ring. And that losing a cage match can mean much more than a mark in the loss column. For some, it has meant the end of their career.
It's difficult to describe the damage that can be done to a superstar who competes in a steel cage match. We see the physical harm, but we don't see the psychological effects from being inside the cage. Make no mistake about it, Michael. The steel cage truly represents survival of the fittest. The rivalry between Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude began during the Super Pose Down at the 1989 Royal Rumble. Then it progressed to where both superstars battled over the Intercontinental at SummerSlam 90. The rivals met inside a 15-foot-high steel cage for the WWE Championship. Victory could be achieved by pinfall or escape from the cage.
Corey, the WWE Championship match between the Ultimate Warrior and Ravishing Rick Rude was the second half of the double main event at 1990 SummerSlam. The rivalry between the Warrior and the Ravishing One was so heated that no one knew what to expect once the two men were able to battle inside a steel cage, which at the time was the most grueling match in all of WWE.
The Ultimate Warrior dominated early on with his incredible strength. Rick Rude turned the tables and used the steel surroundings to his advantage. At one point, Rude dove from the top of the cage onto the Warrior. But after the Warrior's signature Gorilla Press Slam, the Ultimate One climbed over the cage and retained his WWE Championship. The WWE Universe has seen the evolution of the steel cage in the enclosure known today as Hell in a Cell. The first time an enclosed cage was seen. Styles rolls through.
There it is, it's locked in.
Smart maneuver. It just doesn't appear to be Edge's night tonight.
A move like that can almost snap a superstar in half.
All right, when we talk about the progression of steel cage matches and the type of structures that have been spawned from them, I need to point out that some cages have been electrified. One was made from bamboo in the form of the Punjabi prison match. And, of course, the Elimination Chamber with glass pods and steel doors.
And today we have the Asylum match, where weapons are on top of the cage. Just goes to show you that times may change, but the objective to destroy an opponent remains the same. There's still no better way to settle a score than to do battle with your adversary inside a steel cage. We talk about how important stipulations are in a steel cage match. If superstars sign a contract where the only way to win is escape the cage and have both your feet touch the floor, the competitors must have a plan. Especially since you have to be comfortable trying to escape through the cage door as you do climbing over the top of the cage and vice versa.
Corey, you touched on something moments ago that's so important for the combatants in a steel cage match to remember. A superstar must be able to think offensively to figure out how they're going to escape the cage. They must think defensively at the same time so they can prevent their opponent from getting out of the cage first and winning the match.
Well, a superstar must become comfortable with escaping the cage by both exiting the cage door and by climbing over the top of the cage. They must also be aware of their attributes and what's best for them. Let's just say if you're a giant like The Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, or even Braun Strowman, it's preferred to exit through the cage door.
When AJ Styles entered the WWE, he already had a big following and reputation.
Counter here. I think AJ Styles is done playing.
He can't take much more.
Styles clash! He's got the shoulders down. Corey brings up AJ having a following before coming to WWE. It is similar to how Finn Balor had one as well. And boy, what a dream match they put on at TLC.
Yeah, and that was a match put together in the spur of the moment. AJ Styles was on a live tour in South America, took an 18-hour flight to Minnesota, and still had a hell of a match.
Uh-oh, picked out of midair.
Styles clash!
This one's over, guys.
We got a cover.
Yes! Unreal performance.